Before we begin our today's political analysis, ladies and gentlemen, kindly allow me to take about 3 minutes just to give you a very quick review of what really happened today during Fred Matiangi's homecoming rally in Kisii. And also to give you the only reason as to why the entire opposition team, akina Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Eugene Wamalwa, and the rest boycotted that particular event despite having a meeting together 5 days ago. What really happened? Now, if you watched 3 of my previous videos, I gave you a very critical analysis of this particular meeting here between Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi and other opposition leaders, akina Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo, Martha Karua, and the rest. And I explained to you very well what exactly happened in that meeting and the disagreements in that meeting between Fred Matiangi, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Rigathi Gachagua. The disagreements that led to Fred Matiangi refusing to sign the document for press release. Here is the evidence. When you look at this document here, all of the opposition leaders signed this document, but there is no Fred Matiangi's document. He walked away without signing because he was very angry. Now, the disagreement in that particular meeting is exactly the real reason as to why the entire opposition team boycotted Fred Matiangi's rally today in Kisii. I want you to have a look at this particular photo here. This is Fred Matiangi and Simba Arati, the governor of Kisii. Thanks to Raila Odinga's ally, Simba Arati, for attending that particular rally. Otherwise, Fred Matiangi would be alone in that rally. And it would be very humiliating and very embarrassing. Now, the disagreements between Matiangi, Rigathi, and Kalonzo in their meeting happened after Fred Matiangi came with very, very tough condition. And Fred Matiangi made it very clear in that meeting that for him to join Kalonzo and Rigathi Gachagua's coalition, then he must be the flag bearer. That is the condition. But Kalonzo said, no, I must be the flag bearer. Rigathi Gachagua supports Kalonzo Musyoka's 2027 presidential bid. Honorable Martha Karua, in that meeting, negotiated for the deputy president position. Now, the division currently happening in the entire opposition team is exactly what will make William Ruto to win in 2027 general elections. Forget about the one term. Ruto is going to win because of the broad-based government with Raila Odinga and because of the divisions in the opposition. Having said that, now let us go straight into the details of our today's analysis. And by the way, if you are listening to me and you haven't subscribed, please just take a second or two and subscribe now to my YouTube channel for you to receive the latest political updates from this channel and also the best political analysis. My name is Jason, and of course you are listening to Jason Vibes Radio political channel. Let us begin. Follow this analysis to the end. You will learn a lot of things. I really sympathize with the Wiper party leader, Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, and the canvas for having Kalonzo Musyoka as their kingpin. Why am I saying this? It is because Kalonzo Musyoka is always very slow when making very, very important political decisions. And that is why Kalonzo Musyoka is always left behind in politics or being played in politics. Rigathi Gachagua is very sharp, a very sharp leader. And that is why currently as we speak, Rigathi Gachagua is the opposition leader. He leads the entire opposition team. Rigathi Gachagua is the decision maker in the opposition. According to an article from a local daily and the newspaper called The Weekly Review and also the Taifa Leo newspaper, I will read for you the statement. It says that Mama Ngina Kenyatta and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, together with very, very powerful forces in the Mount Kenya region, the Mount Kenya region billionaires and businessmen who are behind Fred Matiangi's 2027 presidential bid, have officially invited the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, for a meeting alone without the other opposition leaders. That statement says, in that meeting, there is a likelihood that the former head of state, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, will officially partner with Rigathi Gachagua to support Fred Matiangi's 2027 presidential bid. So any time from now, ladies and gentlemen, expect a meeting between Uhuru and Rigathi Gachagua. But the biggest question is, will the former DP Rigathi Gachagua dump Kalonzo Musyoka and support Uhuru Kenyatta's project, Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi? Will that happen? And if it happens, what next for Kalonzo Musyoka? That is why I told you at the beginning of this analysis that I really sympathize with Kalonzo Musyoka. The Taifa Leo newspaper has a very, very interesting headline concerning Kalonzo Musyoka, and it says, atarukwa tena. Let me show you. Atarukwa tena. When you read this statement, this article here, it explains what will happen if Rigathi Gachagua will dump Kalonzo and join Uhuru Kenyatta to support Fred Okengo Matiangi. Kalonzo will be left with no options. Maybe he will decide to go straight to the ballot or decide to step down again and support Matiangi. But that will not happen. What I'm sure of 100% is that Fred Matiangi must be on the ballot in 2027 presidential elections, and also Kalonzo Musyoka must be on the ballot. Trust me on this. And that is why Ruto and Raila Odinga, the broad-based government, will win the 2027 elections very early in the morning. Trust me. Remember that Kalonzo Musyoka said Kibaki tosha in 2007 because he thought that after Kibaki's retirement, Kibaki will endorse his presidential bid. But Kibaki akaruka Kalonzo. Kalonzo supported Raila Odinga for 3 good times, expecting Raila Odinga to return the hand and endorse his presidential bid in 2027. But currently, Raila Odinga pia ameruka Kalonzo and is supporting William Ruto. Will that happen again to Rigathi Gachagua? Do you expect Rigathi Gachagua kuruka Kalonzo Musyoka and support Fred Matiangi and Uhuru Kenyatta? only time will tell. So let me read for you this article here about Rigathi Gachagua being invited officially by the Kenyattas. Let us begin by the weekly review. The weekly review has a very interesting headline there, and it says Project Uhuru. Then there is a big photo there of Fred Matiangi, meaning Fred Matiangi is Uhuru Kenyatta's project, Uhuru Kenyatta's puppet in 2027. And that is why I've always said that Matiangi's real mission is to divide the opposition to an extent that Kalonzo will be left with no option apart from joining the rest of the opposition to support Matiangi and Uhuru Kenyatta. Let us wait and see. Then this article here talks about Fred Matiangi being endorsed by very, very powerful forces. The forces that supported Raila Odinga previously. Akina the Kenyattas, the Mount Kenya billionaires, the Mount Kenya businessmen. Now, these people here are the ones who are orchestrating the meeting between Rigathi and the Kenyattas, right? That is the first article there. The second article is from Tuko. Tuko posted this article here. Let me read for you. A local daily reported on the likelihood of a partnership between former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. This comes as politicians continue to seek alliances ahead of the 2027 elections. After reading this article, I went ahead just to know which local daily talked about the meeting, the handshake between Rigathi and Uhuru Kenyatta that we should expect. And I realized that the Taifa Leo newspaper talked about the handshake between Uhuru and Rigathi Gachagua very well. Now, this is what the Taifa Leo said. The headline is Handshake ya Uhuru Kenyatta na Rigathi Gachagua yaja. It is coming, the handshake, very soon. Then it says, wawili hao Rigathi and Uhuru ambao wamewahi kufanya kazi pamoja waonekana kuzika tofauti zao. There are no permanent enemies in politics or permanent friends. But there are three reasons as to why the Kenyattas, Mama Ngina and Uhuru, are currently so much interested with the former DP Rigathi Gachagua. Number one, it is because they want Rigathi Gachagua to support Fred Matiangi's 2027 presidential bid and not Kalonzo Musyoka. Why? It is because of Fred Matiangi's popularity. Matiangi is very popular compared to Kalonzo Musyoka. So there is no need for Rigathi to support Kalonzo and lose. That is according to their view. Number two, they want the unity of the Mount Kenya region votes in 2027 general elections. They want the Kikuyus to vote in one basket. There is no need for Uhuru to support Matiangi and Rigathi Gachagua to support Kalonzo. The Kikuyus votes will be divided. At least if Rigathi and Uhuru comes together, the unity of the Mount Kenya region votes, they will vote in one basket. That is why Uhuru wants to work with Rigathi. And number three, which is finally, the Kenyattas are looking forward to work with Rigathi Gachagua because of Rigathi Gachagua's popularity in the Mount Kenya region. Honestly speaking, Rigathi is very, very popular currently. And the Kikuyus are willing to support any candidate that Rigathi Gachagua will endorse. So, because of Rigathi Gachagua's popularity, it can bring a lot of votes to Matiangi because politics is about interest. So I want us to wait and see how things will turn out to be. And I want us to wait for that particular meeting because it will happen very soon, maybe next week. Immediately after that meeting between Uhuru and Rigathi Gachagua. I'll give you the details. So stay subscribed in this channel. I don't know what you think. I want to know your opinion in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I don't have much. My name is Jason. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more political updates. I'm out.